And Hispanics across California and the nation who don't work in agriculture are better off today because of what the farm workers taught people about organization, about pride and strength, about seizing control over their own lives. And the children and grandchildren of poor Hispanics are moving out of the fields and out of the barrios and into the professions and into business and into politics. And that movement cannot be reversed. Our union will forever exist as an empowering force.
Hi, my name is Connie Perez-Andreesen. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer and National Vice President for the United Farm Workers and also a board member with the Cesar Chavez Foundation. I grew up at the Woodville Labor Camp located in Tulare County from the time I was 2 until I was 17 years old and a junior in high school. Looking back, I lived a very sheltered childhood. I did not realize that until I started high school in Porterville at Monache High School, and that's when I saw the difference between myself and other kids from the surrounding areas. I grew up surrounded by farm workers and their children, and we had very similar upbringings, very poor, which I did not realize until I went to high school, and I noticed the differences in how we dressed, the types of trips we took, what our parents did for a living. I realized the difference then. My dad worked in the fields, so did my mom, and my dad would also work on weekends, did odd jobs just to provide for the family to make sure that we never needed anything. So overall, I would say it was a very happy childhood surrounded by farm workers that took care of all of us. If I did anything wrong during the day, my mom would know about it by the time I got home. And so we were pretty well behaved growing up. I was the oldest of 3 children. I had a brother who was 4 years younger than me. I have a younger sister who is 13 years younger than me. And so I always felt it was my responsibility to be a role model to them. When my brother was shot and killed when he was only 19 years old on June 1st, 1999, that sense of becoming someone became even greater for me. My brother was involved with drugs and he got caught up with gangs. And so sadly, that ended his life and it changed my life forever. And so I knew at that moment that I had to not only graduate from college, I was attending CSUB, Cal State University Bakersfield, after having completed a couple of years at Porterville College. I did drop out for a year from Porterville College because this was before my brother passed away. I was working 2 jobs. I was working Target as a cashier and for a local trophy shop in Porterville, and I would do the bookkeeping for the company. I took an accounting class in high school and I loved it. I don't know why, I just loved accounting, and so I thought, you know what, I could be a bookkeeper. And so those were my dreams before my brother passed away, that I was going to work these jobs, and I had a boyfriend at the time who was attending CSUB. And so I thought, he's going to graduate, we're gonna get married and live happily ever after, have kids, and I'll be a stay-at-home mom. I thought that was what I wanted out of life until my brother passed away. And then I realized that I had a lot more responsibility on my plate because now my younger sister, Janine, was looking up to me to be a role model. She was devastated when my brother passed away. They were extremely close because I had moved away when he passed away. My parents were devastated, obviously, and they never recovered from his death. My junior year, I did meet a amazing family. They were not Latinos, and I started dating their son. They were actually Portuguese, and they took me in as if I was one of their own. And it was through this family that I was really introduced into what it meant to go to college, what it took to go to college. They talked about it. They sat at their dinner table and they talked about their day, stuff I wasn't used to. They talked about politics. They talked about universities, different careers. It was something I was not used to. And I credit this family for saving me from going down the wrong path. And it was because of them. I had access to a computer. We don't have money for computers. I was able to actually do my homework using a computer and do research that I wasn't able to do at the labor camp. And I think even to this day, their internet access is very limited in that community, which puts these children at a disadvantage. So there's a difference there. When I lived at the labor camp, we became very close to a single mom of 5 children. Her husband was in and out of prison for drugs. And so this woman struggled, raising 5 kids. And her husband would pop in if he was out of prison, he would pop in and then he would leave. And I remember one day she grabbed me. I don't know, I think I started dating. And she grabbed me and she said, "Connie," she said, "do not make the same mistake I did." She's like, "Wait to get married." She's like, "Go to school, go to college." And I think at the time she was late 20s. She said, "I would just now be getting married." And so that stuck with me. And so when I was engaged to be married, I was 23 years old. I had maybe 24. I just graduated from college. And I remember her saying that. And I remember I started working at the firm and I started traveling to nice locations like San Francisco, LA, San Diego, and just in California that I had never been to before. And I started going to, restaurants, museums, stuff I had never been exposed to. And I remember thinking, I think I need to explore a little bit more on my own and learn a little bit more about who I am. And so called off the engagement, focused on my career, became a partner, moved to Southern California to run the office for this firm that I was a partner with. And so I was 40 years old when I got married. So that advice stuck with me for that long. So my mom, of course, was always just so worried that I was going to get pregnant as a teenager and not go to college and not, pursue any dreams that she might have had for me. And so when I told her, Mom, I'm getting married, and they love Joel, my parents, my family loves Joel, she said, "Great." And then when I told her I was having a baby, she was just so happy. She's like, "Por fin." I said, "Mom, I listened to you." And so I think I've had a lot of great advice, but I think that one really defined the different choices I made in life going forward. The advice I would have for young Latinos is never let someone make you feel like you don't belong in certain spaces, or that they tell you can't do something, right? Because that happened to me multiple times growing up. And for a moment you do doubt yourself, your ability to accomplish certain things. But you should never, ever feel like you're not worthy enough. We're just as smart as anyone else, and we deserve to be at any space that we want to be at and pursue any dreams. Growing up at the labor camp, I never imagined I would have some of the opportunities that I've had in my life. I did not know what a CPA was growing up. I never thought I would become a certified public accountant. or that I would be a partner at a very successful CPA firm, or that I would be appointed to the lottery commission by a governor of the state of California, or sit on some of the boards that I've had the opportunity to sit on. I never even knew what that meant or that was possible. So now, because of the opportunities that I've had, I am very happy that I'm able to be part of organizations like Latina Leaders of Kern County. They just brought 70 girls up to La Paz this last Saturday, and I had the opportunity to speak to them and hopefully inspire some of them to pursue their dreams, because there's so much more outside of our little communities in Kern County or Porter or the labor camp. And I told them, I said, I stayed here for most of my life. I did move to Southern California for 4 or 5 years, but I came back. I said, it's great to see kids come back, to these communities, because we do need some of that talent to come back to the Central Valley. And so hopefully some of them will move away and, get some degrees and then come back to the Central Valley. I was inducted into the Cal State University Bakersfield Hall of Fame 2 years ago, and I was asked the same question. And I said, I hope that a little brown girl, a little Mexican girl at the Woodville labor camp is watching this and sees herself in me. Even if it's just one little girl that has a similar background. Her dad is working in the fields, her mom is working in the fields, or my mom worked in the guarderia too, the preschool. I'm a Head Start baby. And if she has, the same, is going to Woodville Elementary, you're gonna go to Monache High School. Hey, from there you could go to CSUB, you could go UC, you could go Ivy League. Just know that just because you live in a labor camp and your parents are farm workers, that doesn't limit the potential that you have for your life. You can dream big. Look at Julie Chavez Rodriguez. She comes from this movement and she's running the Biden campaign. And there's so many other women that come from very similar, humble backgrounds. Just because you don't have as much opportunities now, or your parents don't have the resources to send you to private schools or have tutors, or who knows, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you just have to have the drive to become something, and know that now there's organizations that can assist you, like Latina Leaders of Kern County, and there's women like myself and other women that are here to open doors for you, right? That we've been able to access certain opportunities that now, that's always my goal, is to bring more people along with me, because we don't want to be the last ones that are in this chair. I want to see, hopefully 20 years from now, another little Latina from the Woodville labor camp doing things in our community. Si se puede.